to be discussing is Wuthering Heights by Charli xcx. So, Wuthering Heights is the second soundtrack album by British singer Charli xcx for the film of the same name, Wuthering Heights. It was released on February 13th, 2026. The film Wuthering Heights is a 2026 romantic period drama loosely based on the 1947 novel of the same name. The novel in question has come to be considered to be one of the greatest novels written in English. But apparently the movie is loosely based on that novel. But anyways,
Mhm.
today's discussion, unless Eric, you have a different opinion on it, but today's discussion is purely just going to be focused on the music portion of it because I have not seen this movie, and I've never read
Nor
this.
have I.
Yeah, and I've never read this book, so we have no context for this. But purely from a musical standpoint, that's where this discussion is going to go.
Yes. And I guess I could give like a brief synopsis. So,
Sure.
my sister-in-law is huge into these like books. Like I don't know, like I know of them, but I don't know, I've never read them, or I have like I don't know who the author is, and I don't know if there's like a trilogy involved in like, oh, these are the same like, family lines or whatever, right? But it's like that whole like Pride and Prejudice era kind of thing, to my knowledge. But essentially, what I was told is this is a very sad, sad like romance film, and the director that directed it, when she read the book when she was like 14 or 15. Again, I don't remember the age that my sister-in-law told me, but she was young. She had this vision in her head of what it was like, and that's what she did the movie based off of the vision that she had when she first read it. So like her interpretation of the book. So that being said, she obviously had, I feel like picking the music because according to this blurb here on my Apple Music, the director actually messaged Charlie XCX from a random number saying, "Hey, I'm directing this movie. I want you to do the soundtrack for it." So she obviously had a sound in mind of how she wanted it to kind of sound in her head. So just to put that into perspective, because I feel like musically that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I have never heard of anything about Charlie XCX ever. So I don't know what she's famous for or anything like that.
She's
So
famous for
sorry if you
Brat.
think Brat. Okay. I'll have to listen to the song because I can't think of it at the top of my head. Would I know it?
Ooh. Um.
And see, by that I'm like, I don't know. It's a good chance I might not.
To be honest, okay. So, I'm full disclosure. I'm not really a fan, but Brat was sort of like this cultural phenomenon. I feel like it was last year, but I think it was 2 years ago, where like every single music publication was like, "This is great, best album of the year" when it was released. To the point
Hmm.
where like SNL did skits surrounding the album, where Kamala Harris had like Charlie XCX come up on stage and she was using brat as a word like during her campaign. Like it was just a cultural
Hmm.
phenomenon type of thing. But all the music
I see.
publications actually like had it in their top two albums of the year, album of the year thing.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, in terms of like quote unquote pop radio, I don't think it really got the single airplay. Like there weren't songs being played on the radio all the time for the specific album, which is not an
Hmm.
indication of a good or a bad album, but that would be the only thing. Like I don't know if you would recognize any of her songs if I told you or you listened to
Hmm.
it for that reason.
Okay. So yeah, so I definitely might. There's a good chance I might not have.
Yeah.
Regardless, I think the overall the album production wise sounds fantastic. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just sounds good. Um, just the quality of the mixing is great. It's very dark and very ominous uh, in terms of how the album flows. But the problem with a soundtrack is you get movies like this. I'm going to use this as an example because it's not like a Lord of the Rings or a Harry Potter or like a Star Wars or like something with this like just epic orchestra that's just kind of has this big flow to it, right? Like obviously there's like the climax and stuff. Whereas this, it's like some parts like I'll give you an example here. So the very first song, House, featuring John Cale, it sounds very like horror-esque, like somebody's gonna
Mm,
get murdered.
yeah.
Like again, like I don't know the story of it, but it definitely gives you like this creepy, like unsettling feeling,
Yeah.
especially when the guy starts singing, like or saying,
His
like I
poem.
can't
Yeah.
remember what the line, yeah, and then she starts singing over the poem, and it's almost like a bit flat, and it
Hmm.
sounds like you're just like Jesus, that's like really creepy. Like it feel like I could feel it in my like
Yeah.
you get the EBGBs. So, which I thought was really cool how they did that. And then you have Wall of Sound come in, which is kind of similar kind of sounding.
Hmm.
And then what dropped it off for me is when I went into Dying for You, because it sounded like Video Killed the Radio Star.
Oh, you're so right.
And
You're
then I just kept
so
singing
right.
"Video Killed the Radio Star," and then
Yes.
it kind of just killed it for me there
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah. I get that. I get that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's hilarious.
S it definitely does have other, like, songs because like, I think it was in Chains of Love where they have, like, that, like it's like a pop song,
Yep.
and then they have this, like, almost, like, flat violin come in, and you're
Hmm.
just like, "Oh, Jesus." It's like you're in this happy place, but then it's like it feels like this darkness is just starting to, like,
Hmm.
come over you, which I did thought was really cool because I feel like she nailed that feeling and meant for that feeling to happen very perfectly.
Yep.
She like just knocked that out of the park. Um, but for a soundtrack with like a movie like this, like I'm saying, it's hard to have a linear flow because because it is a different style of movie. It's not that orchestra driven film, so it has weird highs and lows.
Hmm.
It just doesn't seem to fit like a Lord of the Rings or like something else would, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I would say that with anything with actual pop songs in as their soundtrack.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, to me it was a bit weird that this was a soundtrack. Just because like when I think soundtrack, I don't think of pop songs, right?
Mhm.
There were definitely moments on this album where there were definitely pop songs, like dark pop songs or like weird elements in the pop songs. But generally, soundtracks should be, in my mind, supporting the film and having like a top line that is so melodic and like so like in your face. I was like, all right, that's an interesting choice to have such a melodic thing in here outside of like a musical or like, usually a soundtrack will have the one hit song that plays at the climax of it, but it was yeah, it was interesting. I agree with you on the production. It sounded phenomenal. Like it just sounded so good. And I agree that like the darkness of it, like they really nailed it on this one. Like it was just so creepy sounding at times and like
Mhm.
foreboding. Like there was just like, a mood to it that I think carried through most of the album, which was really cool. Um, when I listened to it, I was just thinking like, do you remember that album that Halsey and Nine Inch Nails did, like Trent and Atticus? Do you
Mhm.
remember that one?
Yes.
It sort of reminded me of a better version of that album,
Yeah.
because like that
Yeah, I would
album
say that. Yeah.
had the Halsey pop element to it, but then had the Trent and Atticus just darkness to it. And
Yeah.
as much as I thought that album sort of fell flat a lot of times, this one seemed like a much more polished version of it, um,
Mm.
which I did like. Um, I think it was a bit too short though, which is strange because normally I don't.
Mhm.
I always criticize albums for being too long and just just keeps on going for no reason. This one I found at 34 minutes 34 seconds. I thought, isn't this a movie soundtrack? Shouldn't there be more music to support the movie unless they're just repeating stuff? That was the one thing
Yeah.
that I found odd that it was so short. But other than that, I thought it was a pretty good album.
It was pretty good. Other than, like, I just can't get over the "Video Killed the Radio Star" song, because it just really ruined it for me because I think if they stuck with how they, like, made it at the beginning,
Started, yeah, yeah.
uh, yeah, like, it would've, like, and they do have it come back in the album, and I'm not saying it doesn't come back in,
Hmm.
but I think if they kept that same flow, it would be I think it would be almost like a 10 out of 10 for me because
Oh,
it
ooh,
was really cool how they used the synths and almost like that
yep.
dubstep sound, but in like an orchestra way,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Which was cool. And you can have you can have lyrics and stuff to it, but it just like I said, like it didn't sound like a soundtrack to a film. Like I would agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have never guessed this would be outside of maybe the first two songs. I would have never guessed this would be a soundtrack to any sort of
Hmm.
film because the first two I could see where that would line up with a film, but the rest of it it seems to me just like a non-soundtrack album. So I'd be interested to see how that plays in the film. Um
Hmm.
and how like maybe some of these lyrics actually line up to it. But as a standalone piece of art, it sounded good. The through line I think was there. It was dark, it was moody. I sort of liked all of it. Um and then there were like cool like popish moments, melodies in there that I thought were pretty cool.
Hmm.
Um but yeah.
I also think that the soundtrack, like the cover, is
Mhm.
trash. Like the album art is trash.
It's too brown.
Well, it looks like I don't know whether or not it's like a hard boiled egg, which it looks like it is. And then it's like the person's like, "You must eat this." Like that's like I don't know what that is essentially.
I'm
So
sure like the hardcore fans will know what that actually means,
yeah, they're
but
like, "Oh my god, it means this." I bet you we're gonna get ripped apart in this review for not having to watch the movie, and people are gonna be like, "You just don't get it. You guys don't get the flow." Video Killed the Radio Star was pivotal to the film. Like,
but also I think a perspective from just a music person's like
yes,
perspective on this is important because like not everyone is into film, not everyone is into visual art, not everyone's into music, right? But there is a
mhm,
bridge between all those arts. So if you're into music and that music sort of leads you into film, like that's sort of how the flow should go, right? Like this album is
mhm,
designed to get people into the movie, right? And vice versa. People that are into the movie probably have never listened to Charlie XCX, and maybe at this point they're gonna be like, "Oh, who wrote this like amazing soundtrack to one of my favorite movies?" Right? So
exactly. Yep.
that's sort of where I come from. If people are gonna rip us apart for not having watched the film or read the book, eh, that's on them.
Yeah. Again, like I think it was very this album is very unique because you have that like element because like I remember Sting always used to say taking a sad song or like a angry song and making it sound happy, it's like or vice versa. It's like the best thing you can do in music, right? And
Mm-hmm.
having a happy song being played and then all of a sudden you have these elements of like violin come in or like string pieces or whatever and it gives it this like, oh, what the hell was that? And it's like, oh, what was that? That's creepy. That's like fucking creepy. It's like you're like, I'm walking down the street all happy, but like really internally, like I'm falling apart. Right. That's what I got. And I don't think you've ever heard anything like that for like a long time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So I just looked up the album art. So it is described as it's apparently it's Margot Robbie and Jacob. I'm gonna butcher this last name. Elordi, Jacob Elordi. Anyways, it's their
Mhm.
hands. A soldier. What? It's basically toast being dipped into a soft-boiled egg.
Interesting. So that's terrible.
It's
That
a
is absolutely trash.
it's a symbolic moment of intimacy featuring two hands, a soft-boiled egg, and toast.
That's that's so like that is you could have I don't know. I don't know. This is it was I think the album is terrible. It's trash. It's like when you made a like video project in high school and this is the thumbnail from the video that just like popped up and you just sit there like I don't know how to change it, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
here.
I think it's trash. That's trash.
So for those of you that aren't or are listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, basically the audio only places, I have
Yes, I guess we have to explain that to them.
yeah, come to twitch.tv/ the Crossroads Music Podcast, and you'll see the videos on online. Oh, actually, YouTube is also a place. But Eric, I'm gonna just quickly throw this up on screen. We're probably gonna get demonetized because of this, but whatever. This is a still from the movie, so basically, it's the still, a close-up shot of specifically from the movie of this
Oh,
scene,
okay.
which
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe it's an important scene in the movie.
Yeah. It's gotta be. It's gotta be. Maybe it's like they're not, have you ever tried dipping your toast in a soft boiled egg? Oh my god, it's gonna blow your mind. And maybe obviously that's not what happened, but
um,
yeah.
but anyways, from a musical standpoint, I thought it was pretty cool. It was to be honest, I didn't have high expectations for this one, just because like
Mhm.
for me, Charlie XCX is a pop artist, and say what you will, but I always think pop artists are the lower class of musicians, like a Harry Styles or something like. But Charlie
Mhm.
XCX does write her own music, so that's probably 10 times better than the average pop artist out today. So, you know, I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good album. All right,
Hmm.
Eric. Final thoughts and ratings. What are you gonna give this one?
I mean, I didn't hate it. It just didn't have that flow for me, which I feel like this could have been a 10 out of 10. Um, but again, like it could be like if I watched the movie and it is a 10 out of 10 with the movie, right? But musically standpoint, I think it was well written. But I don't think it's in that 10 category. So I'm going to give it an 8.
Ooh,
8 out of 10.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually thinking an 8 also, so I'm gonna give it an 8. I thought it was a surprising album. I thought it wasn't gonna
Hmm.
be very good. I thought it was going to be just like a pop record, or just like atmospheric sounds that was gonna be boring. But it ended up
Hmm.
being surprising. I actually liked the moodiness of it. There were definitely parts where it's like it went one way with a pop melody, and then it just got really dark, which was like it was fascinating to listen to that. Um,
Hmm.
is a bit short. I thought it'd be a longer album just because it's a soundtrack, and you need to fill up screen time for that. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. All right, perfect. That was our discussion on "Wuthering Heights" by Charli XCX. Eric, we talked about this artist earlier in the podcast, but the album that we are going to be listening to and discussing is the brand new Hillary Duff album, "Luck or Something." Uh, is it going to be good? I hope it's good. Honestly, I just hope it's good. That way, I'm not wasting our time with this.
I don't want to say the wrong thing here. I don't, but it seems like this, like when you even see like, because this is the uh picture for her tour as well
Mm.
that she uses. So I just feel like it's almost like I could be Taylor Swift too. Like,
That's a bit much, but yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. I get it.
yeah,
I get it.
mhm, yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully it's like passable. That's my baseline hope, that it is just a passable
Mhm.
album and it's not a 1 out of 10 and I'm just gonna like die and we're gonna rip it
Well, it's
apart.
funny. like it's a passable album, but then you get like a description like this. As a teen idol of the early 2000s, the Disney Channel star turned singer felt like your coolest friend. I just think like that is so cheesy. That is just to describe this album. This is just from my Apple like adding it on there. I won't talk any further because we'll go into more detail next week. But
Anyways. All right, next week, Luck or Something, the brand new Hillary Duff album. We're going to be discussing that one. Well, that's it for another week on the Crossroads Music Podcast. We're here live at twitch.tv/the Crossroads Music Podcast, 10 p.m. ET, 7 p.m. PT. Catch us on Apple Music, all the places where you get your podcasts, and on our YouTube channel. Tell us why you think this Wuthering Heights by Charli XCX is the greatest soundtrack ever written in the history of all recorded music. Or not. Tell us why it's terrible. But we thought it was okay. Actually better than okay. Pretty good. Anyways, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we will catch you all next time.